Well, hey folks, welcome back to the show. I want to talk real quick about some 5 ways that you can dial in and find a property that's worth buying, something you're going to enjoy, and something that could be a legacy to your family for years to come. All that and more on today's episode of The American Landman. Okay, well, I've been talking about this topic now for probably, a couple years. And I thought, I was out here on this beautiful day, winter. I'm looking at a property, and I thought I'd just sit down and kind of enjoy my time. The sun is getting low. It's just a great day. And I thought I feel like having a fire. But when I talk to folks, I get a lot of questions about, they're afraid to buy a property and they're afraid to take that first step. They just can't seem to get themselves to take a property, make the investment and just feel good about it. So I think what that really comes from is really not having a plan and how to go about finding a good property. So I've talked about this a little bit here and there. I've been on some podcasts recently where I've talked about this 5 things. I call it the FAB 5 of how to find a property that's worth buying. It's basically something that I borrowed from a lot of folks that I've talked to, listened to on podcasts. So I can't say that I made this up. I'm just not original, but I've kind of adapted it to what I do with recreational land. So here we go. Number 1. When you're looking for a property, I want you to step back in the area that you're at. Here I'm in the Minneapolis-St. Paul market. And if you step back and you look at the maps, you see it's kind of like a spider web. You got 94 coming in from Wisconsin and going out the northwest corner. And you got Highway 35E and 35W going north-south. You got 64. And you just have all these corridors that are feeding in and out of the city. And those are geographic travel corridors. That's where people are traveling. That's where they want to go. And that lends itself to the next thing, which is the demographic growth corridors. So along those travel routes, there's geographic travel routes, there's demographic growth corridors. And that's where people are growing and they're moving. So I've talked about this in the past, but back in my younger years, I followed this concept. I got out on I-94 in a little town called Albertville, Minnesota. Most of the development around the Minneapolis metro stopped at Maple Grove, but if 94 continued out, and the next couple freeway exits were St. Michael, I believe, and Albertville, Minnesota. And so I bought out there, and people thought, the heck, you're way the heck out here. But I knew that the growth was going to happen. People were moving out there. There was freeway exits with shopping and gas stations, and then pretty soon there was a mall, and then there was a little town, and then a golf course, and all these amenities started springing up. And so I bought there, and what happened was my equity in my house started going up. So I sold it. I made $50,000 on it. I rolled it into the next property. And then I stayed there for another year, and then I made some equity, and I rolled that into the next one. And then I moved to Eden Prairie on Highway 212, and I bought a house there. And then I moved over to Wisconsin. Each time I followed these demographic growth corridors, I got ahead of them, and I was able to buy a property and get some equity on it. And I'm going to get to why this is important for you as a recreational land buyer. Okay, so then the next thing that you want to do in the Fab 5 is most people want to be, I would say probably 1 to 2 hours, maybe 3 tops from a metro area. Once you start getting beyond that distance, it just gets to be a long drive. So if you're looking for a property that you're going to have for recreational use, you've seen the travel corridors, so you can get there really quick after work, and you're getting out in front of development, so you don't have people right on top of you. You got a nice little cabin, and then you're within 1 to 2 hours of your home. That's good. The next thing you want to look for is get 1 to 5 miles, maybe 3 to 5 miles off of the travel corridors that you drove to get to where you're at. And that's how I am here on my farm in Indian Creek. I'm about 5 to 7 miles from the major travel corridor, interstate or county highway 35, Highway 35. And then I'm on Highway E, and then I'm on 56th Street, and then it's to my property. So by the time I get here to my property, or you get to yours, it's quiet. There's just nobody around. I don't have to hear freeway noise. I don't have neighbors. I don't have dogs barking. That's where people want to be. So it's quiet, and you follow those 4 things. The 5th thing is look for diversity in a property. for example, my farm in Polk County in Indian Creek, when I saw it for the first time, I knew that it was something that I wanted. It has open agricultural fields that I could put into food plots. It's got a tamarack swamp that is good thermal cover. There's upland hills or grassy spots that I could plant thermal cover for the deer or maybe food plots, hardwood forest. I mean, it had everything. What you're looking for when you're looking for a property with diversity, try to find the trifecta. Find 3 different habitat types. You know, the fancy word is called biomes, but you know, just look for 3 habitat types. That might be swamp. If you're a hunter, swamps are great. It might be upland hardwoods. It might be grasslands, you know, but these are all different habitat types. Even agriculture is a habitat. The more you find habitat variability, different biomes, those edges where they come together, there's always going to be more animals there. And how does that translate to an investment? If you're trying to convince your wife or significant other that you should buy this, well, it results in a better sale if you're selling it with a land specialist like me, because I recognize that, and I know that people are going to look for those types of things when they buy your property next. Then if you improve it a little bit, heck, you can add $300 to $500 an acre by putting in trails and food plots and tree stands and do all that. So the Fab 5 is a way to take that anxiety away from buying a property. Kind of, you don't get analysis paralysis, and you look at so many properties, you just don't make a decision, and your agent gets tired of showing you around, and nobody wants to work with you. You want to be that guy. So consider the Fab 5, and if you're interested in talking about it, you can follow me here, because I'm going to talk about a lot. You can give me a call. I'll take you out on a couple properties. We'll do it with a plan of action, and we'll find your own piece of American land. Hey folks, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna watch the sun go down, have a fire. It's a beautiful day here in America. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, comment if you like, please subscribe. And if you want me to find you a piece of American land, give me a call. I'm Neil Hogger. I'm a land specialist with Whitetail Properties Real Estate, and you've been watching The American Landman.